Gate 14 podcast, and the end is near, Avery. The end is near. I tweeted it, 3 more Gate 14 podcast episodes for the 2024 season. Post Trey Savage interview. Let's start it off with that, Avery. How are you feeling? And obviously, you probably didn't listen to the podcast, but what were your original thoughts? Like, what did you think Trey Savage was going to be? Because obviously, it was a tough one. It was a tough one, but he opened up a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't listen at all. That is my apologies. I edited it, got the cold open, had to fix that up for you, and then I wish I was there for it. You're just like, can you do Sunday at 2 when I was just off on Saturday, and it's like that's the worst possible time. So I apologize for not being there. We'll be better on finding our times.
It was
as soon as baseball season's over for me. I mean, that's just the thing where we're always used to, hey, we can just do whatever time, right? And we're like, good, and make it work.
No, it's fine. I mean, it gave me OG like Fisher Unofficial vibes for me there, just hammering out the podcast.
Are you confident in the future of the Toronto Blue Jays pitching staff based on your Trey Savage interview?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the guy's a dog, and I watched some videos of him. He is an absolute bulldog on the mound. Like, he is kind of like, I like my pitchers to have a little bit of like a chip on their shoulder when they're pitching, and I watched some highlights from him at ECU. And he is a bulldog. Like, he is pretty much will get in someone's face if he has to.
He's like, the way he pitched when he was at college, it's just like that guy's a grown ass man. Compared to the kid, like big bodied guy, throws hard. He's a grown ass man playing a kid's game in college. He was foggy. He was sick. What has he said he's been doing this whole time?
So he's been in Dunedin. Just pretty much just throwing at the facility by himself, like literally no one there, just him and then the coaching staff, like the instructional coaching staff. So that's gotta suck. Obviously, we talked about that. He's been playing video games, so he's been battling. But that was a good interview. But speaking about the offseason, man, I mean, we're almost here. It's this season flew by. Has been miserable. You're goddamn right, it's been miserable. It sucks. But I mean, what are the plans for the offseason, man? It just, for you, I mean, a lot of free time. You don't realize how much free time we have in the offseason. We record 1 podcast a week and then just kind of go from there.
I know I got some girlfriend activities to make up for being away for pretty much 2 months. So that'll happen. Bunch of weddings in the offseason. A bunch of my buddies getting married. So getting down to Kansas, hopefully travel some family time. I loved what our offseason content last year.
It was awesome.
The Ohtani stuff made it happen where it was every day. Like, we would talk to each other in the office and we would just say, hey, why don't we just talk? Why don't we just talk tonight? It was so happy. So I'm hoping we get that as well. Something to talk about. I'm obviously the free agent moves will happen. The Gate 14 awards feels like we did those 2 days ago.
I know. Trey Savage already committed to announcing an award, which rocks. We'll get Will Wagner to do one, obviously. Basset, not quite sure if Basset fucks with us anymore. He's been kind of dry over text, but it's been a tough season, obviously, playing like when you're getting older and your team sucks. So it's been tough for Basset, but I still think he rocks with us. But we'll have Horwitz in there this year. We'll have all the guys, so it'll be good. And then we'll have Lil Perfito on in the offseason as well. But I'm going to learn how to DJ this offseason. I've been tapping in little John Summit. I might be the next John Summit, but shout out my boy Laz. He said he's like, just come over or whatever. I'll just teach you how to DJ. He said he's not Tiesto, but he'll just be able to teach me how to mix. So I'll be doing that. He has an Instagram page. I don't know if we have a lot of listeners that like house music and all that type of stuff. So Toronto House Mafia is the name of his Instagram page. If you want to comment, thank you, Laz, under it. Show him the Gate 14 difference and kind of pump my guys' tires. But
will you commit to DJing bar night next year?
Yeah, I could do that. I think I will learn enough to be able to do that. Obviously, just like I'm not going to be making my own beats and stuff like that.
Well, that's producing music. That's not being a DJ.
It'll be fun just to learn how to like mix tracks. Because I think I have we listen to the Gate 14 album. Like I understand music like a decent amount. I can understand how to mix and like how beats shift and all that type of stuff. So I think I'll be fine with that. But it will rock just to kind of learn how to do that in the off season. Kind of take up a hobby. Because this is my hobby. It's Toronto Blue Jays, and they're gone after September. So I'll be learning that. So shout out to Laz for that. But bar night. We made the tickets live. I didn't talk about this with Trey Savage, but we got about 25 tickets left, I believe, for the event. Yeah. So if you want to be there for that, gate14.ca, purchase your ticket there. And once they sell out, like we're gonna have to be turning people out the door. So if you don't buy your ticket, it's next Friday. So come down and just have some beers with the boys and just listen to some music and just kind of have some fun with your buddies, man. If you're 19 plus, you can get in there and just rally with us. It's gonna be cool, kind of an end of season thing, and it was really fun last year. I think we had 150 people there, or whatever it was. So it's a really fun event. Shout out to Alto for making that possible, and St. John's Tavern ain't ready for the boys.
Yep. Go to the Jays game and then come out after. It's the perfect. As soon as the game's over, we just head over right beside it, pretty much.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
gonna be an enjoyable night. Nice send off, and we can drink to the season that never was, the season that wasn't meant to be, and we can forget about it. Hopefully the next day.
Yeah, and someone made a milestone today. Vladdy hit 30 home runs.
Yep.
Credit to me. Credit to Johnny. I always believed. Avery, is there a statement that you want to make, the known stats guy who denied Vladdy to hit 30 home runs this year? Is there any statement you want to make? Anything addressing of the nation, maybe? Or
oh yeah, he had to have had barely any home runs at the time of that, because I just went off, hey, he's gonna need to hit a shit ton in the second half for this to happen.
Yeah.
So I'll bet against it. Yeah. And boy, did he ever have a second half.
I mean,
I need to remember what day I said it, and we can see how many he had that day, because I think we said he had to hit like 18 in the second half is what my head wraps around to that. So
and boy, did he do that shit.
Oh my God, did he ever? Two tanks today. We got what, 10 games to spare? Nine.
I think 33 is a reasonable number with 10 games to go. 33 maybe?
Well, I think he got 9 games probably, right?
Yeah.
3 this weekend, 3 I don't even remember.
3-game series, I believe.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, get 2 more. 3 more.
Yeah,
would be a great end. I mean, you get the Marlins at the end. There's some good
Juan Soto.
Yeah, there's some good stat padding opportunities coming up. Yeah, now that the team sucks, it's a little different. Do you want to talk about the AL wildcard race?
I would like to talk about that. Listen, I talked about this a couple weeks ago. This was the Jays' chance to kind of take advantage of a very soft American League. I look around teams in the American League: Baltimore Orioles, bullpen, dog shit. Yankees, that lineup is, I mean, what do you get from Volpe? What do you get from Rizzo? What do you get from other guys on the lineup? Like, there's some holes there. The Twins, one of the worst collapses I've ever seen. I believe they were up 8 games, and now they're tied with the wild spot to Detroit Tigers. The Toronto Blue Jays this year was the chance to take advantage of a terrible American League where it is wide open, dude. There is really, Avery, no team I look at in the American League and I go, that team's going to win the American League this year and go to the World Series. There's none. There's parity in the American League this year. And the Jays shit down their fucking leg with this. Shit down their leg, man. And honestly, it makes me more aggravating seeing the goddamn Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Tigers are in a playoff spot. Like, a team that was 2 games under 500 at the trade deadline are now a playoff team. I can't believe I'm mouthing those words. The Detroit Tigers are.
They traded their second best starter too. They sent him to the Dodgers, and they've been insane since.
I don't know if you're in the same boat with me, Avery, but just watching watching the playoffs this year is gonna suck for me, to be honest. But it's gonna be fun watching the NL. Obviously, tons of fun teams there, like the Mets and the Padres. But man, this sucks. The Detroit Tigers and the Twins, like, oh, it sucks here. I don't know where you're at. I don't know if you're in the same boat with me on that.
No, I'm not in this. I choose for my mental health to not dwell on those things because I would be sad, and feels wide open compared to some of the past years, like you said too.
Well, there's not going to be a 100-win team, right? Like,
no.
Last year you had the Orioles, who obviously, I mean, they fumbled pretty bad.
Did they ever?
Yeah, it's like, man, the
Twins were scary going into that. Like, they could pitch.
Yeah,
they had a bunch of guys who could pitch, and that's been a little bit of a different story. I mean, is Bailey Ober gonna take over and do that? Kind of what, like Sonny Gray was doing. It's an interesting spot, man. And it kind of is a different look at it too, based on how good the Jays have hit against right-handed pitching.
Oh, it's insane. I think, what was the stat you tweeted out about the Jays against right-handed pitching?
They're the second best team in baseball since the trade deadline against right-handed pitching.
Makes sense. Makes sense, I guess.
Is that good?
Yeah,
It's always better to be better against righties than lefties because
there's stats say there's more in the league, but
you're gonna face more.
I don't know.
Righties.
Like, part of me is looking at the next year and seeing how like the improvement and how kind of fun it's been to watch this offense hit and be like, you know what? I think we'll be all right. But looking at that bullpen, I tweeted the stat. The bullpen, shout out TJ Stats, the only team in baseball with a negative WAR, a -3 WAR for the Toronto Blue Jays bullpen. I'm maybe using a cope mechanism here, Avery, but imagine what this team would have been if we had a bullpen like last year. Maybe they'd be the Tigers.
Yep.
You know?
No, you're exactly right. And the starters went through a nice little run there for a couple weeks as well. I think I don't think it's a hard fix, if we're being honest, man.
Really?
I don't think they're that far away. I really don't.
Yeah, and that extra wild card adds an element, man. It's like you don't even really have to be good. Like, for example, the Tigers are 7 games above 500 with 9 games to go, and they are in a playoff spot. Last year at this point, the Jays were like 12 games, 13 games above 500. It might have even been 16, I think. I mean, I showed the TikTok about it. They were 83 and 67 at one point. Like, this is sad, but there is a lot of hope. I mean, Will Wagner, over 300 hitter during his tenure here. Spencer Horwitz, one of the best hitters against right-handed pitching in all of baseball. Vladdy returned to his old self. Davis Schneider is starting to show signs of being back. There's a lot of hope I have for next year, but I want to see what this roster and this bullpen looks like. That's the biggest thing with me. If they like, you can't have Luis Frias.
No, he fucking stinks.
Oh no, he might be the worst ever.
There was a reason why his ERA was 20 when he came over and why he had to find a new team. And you see him get on the mound, big bodied guy, hard fastball.
Yeah.
It's the cutter I think he's throwing as well. And then they just spray balls like it's batting practice against him.
Do they ever spray baseballs against Luis Fry? It's been tough to watch. It's been a hard watch.
It really has. I think we're going to have some really, really good options when it comes to random Blue Jay of the year.
Oh, yeah. I think Luis Fry's the front runner, or Jose Cuas, maybe?
Cuas is a really good one.
Is up there for sure.
De Los Santos is in there for me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Even though he's been here for 1,000 years, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
You got to think De Los Santos is up there, but I want to touch on this. A message to future me and future Toronto Blue Jays fans in November. Juan Soto is not coming here. Juan Soto is not coming here. Ignore the tweets from the media puppets. Ignore everything you're hearing. I can promise you, Juan Soto will not be a Toronto Blue Jay. Okay, everyone? All right, let's collectively agree to this as a unit. If I am not ready to get hurt again, we learned what we learned about Ohtani. It was never happening. Juan Soto will not be coming to the Toronto Blue Jays. Cope, deal with it. Do not believe, pin this TikTok, tweet, whatever. It is not going to happen. So please stop believing the false narrative. Get ready to learn Santander or something like that, because Juan Soto ain't coming here, folks. All right? I just want to make that clear.
Where are you going to put the stamp on him going next year?
He's going to be a Yankee. I mean, who are we kidding? Why would he leave a team that has the best record in the American League? Why would you do that for a division team that it's in last place the year before?
Well, maybe the Mets give him $50 more million.
Okay. Again, if I would be chanting "Let's go Mets" if he's on the Mets. Okay?
Me too. Yes.
But let's
get him out of my division, please.
Yeah, he's playing with the best player in the American League, not named Bobby Witt. I'm a Bobby Witt truther, but why would he leave Aaron Judge? I understand he's boys with Vladdy. They talk about hanging out in the offseason, all that type of stuff. The Jays got to pay Vladdy, and the Jays got to pay Juan Soto. Let me tell you something. This ownership, they spend money, sure. Are they willing to fork up $1 billion, $800 million for 2 guys? I don't know about that, Avery. I'm not sure. I don't know about that one, folks. I don't.
Yeah. It would be a good time to spend, though. It's like, hey, Bo and Vladdy are technically as cheap as they could be.
Yeah.
And see if you go all in. You got to take a risk at some point to kind of win it, right?
Yeah.
And it is the risk not paying Bo and worrying about him after. Maybe that's it. But I think that's a good because we'll be in the talks. Let's.
We'll be in the talks. There's going to be tweets. There's going to be
I've seen the tweets already.
Oh, you've seen the tweets. There's going to be tweets.
5 teams, right?
Blue Jays, Mets, Giants, probably Dodgers, Yankees. Let me tell you something.
I saw Phillies instead of Dodgers.
Close your eyes, folks. Do not read those articles. Do not fall victim to what we fell victim to last year, okay? It's not happening. It's not happening, okay? There's going to be tons of articles. We're going to use the Jays as leverage. We're going to be that side piece that all these free agents use to get more money, and it's not going to happen, okay? And I want to make that very clear. But anyways, other news. Congratulations to Rogers, 37% stake. Or is it Bell or Rogers? Congratulations to Rogers for buying the Leafs, 37%.
Yeah.
All right, so that's cool, I guess, right? I mean, the funniest part about it is seeing the journalists be a little poop in their pants, saying, "Well, there goes all our privileges to go into the locker room and get first access to the team. It's only going to be the Sportsnet guys now." Wah. Cry me a fucking river. But
it's like I also saw people saying it's bad Rogers owning every sports team in
it's not great, probably.
No, but they've got their hand in every hockey team, it feels like, besides the Sens and maybe the Jets, because Rogers Arena, Rogers Place sponsors the Canucks, sponsors the Oilers. I guess they might not have anything in the Flames as
Ed
well.
Rogers masterclass, my goat owner. Ted is looking down on him, smiling right now, going, "That's my boy."
It'll be interesting to see what Rogers does as well. I'm not a Leaf fan, or sorry, not a Leaf fan. Like I'm a Jays fan. I do like the Leafs.
Yeah.
So the people complaining, they're gonna melt down Atkins. I saw someone say, I think it was Stoden say that Atkins or Shapiro was gonna run the Leafs, and I thought it was or run MLSE. I was like, oh, that's good. That's
shit. A good one.
Yeah,
that's
I like
a good
that.
one. Shapiro's just gonna own just be the CEO of 4 different teams. He's gonna do TFC, the Argos, the Leafs, and the Jays.
And he's gonna run the Toronto Rock.
Yeah, he's gonna run the Rock. Oh yeah, that'd be funny. But congratulations to Ted and Ed. Obviously, Ted, rest in peace.
Ted and Ed. I never even fucking thought about that.
Congrats to Ed Rogers. This is Ed Rogers salute podcast. This is in memory of him. Or sorry, memory of Ted. I'm actually gonna tweet that. Today's podcast is in memory of Ted Rogers. I'm gonna tweet that.
Yeah, lower my phone bill. Fuck's sakes.
Another thing though, Ohtani made history today, 50-50. Let's go over some cope mechanisms onto why we wouldn't want that for the Jays. Probably suck to have that much joy.
It's a lot of pressure on the other guys who don't want it.
If Ohtani's a Jay, we'd have to tweet so much. It's we'd have to tweet all his home runs. There's 50 of them.
50 more tweets, yeah.
Then the thing is, Ohtani comes in. It's like that new stepson. Vladdy would lose his light. Would we love Vladdy as much anymore? It's there's a lot of cope mechanisms here that we can kind of pull through here. Will we want to have to deal with all the media?
Probably not.
The views we'd get on Gate 14 if Ohtani was a Blue Jay. Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
Yep.
I couldn't imagine that. It sucks. Congratulations to Ohtani. I mean, there's an asterisk with the stolen base rule now and the bigger bases and the pickoffs, but we're not going to discount 50-50. I did tweet he hit his home run off a position player, and I have 34 tweets under mine saying you're a fucking idiot, loser. But we battle back. But congratulations to Ohtani, honestly. Seriously, congratulations to Ohtani.
He's going to win the MVP.
Yeah. Or Lindor's my MVP, but that's fair. And then another thing,
I mean, it's tough when Ohtani's going 50-50 while Lindor sits.
Yeah, Ohtani's still my MVP, or Lindor's still my MVP. Next thing I want to talk about, I wanted to get your thought process on this, Avery. So Chris Basset, our guy, came out with some comments. I don't know if you saw those.
I saw them in passing, yes.
He said, I couldn't talk about his last podcast. So Chris Basset's comments essentially were, the fans should be blaming the players more than Ross Atkins. Do I essentially agree with that 100%? I can't say I do. Chris is our guy. I agree with some majority of his takes, but that one, I don't know if I can 100% agree on. Ross Atkins constructed this team. Ross Atkins saw a lack of power last season in the Toronto Blue Jays. And what did he do? He picked up Justin Turner. He picked up IKF. He picked up who else? Kevin Kiermaier. He did not address a need that this team had last year. Yes, you can blame the star players, blame Bichette, blame the guy, Springer, who has been terrible besides that stretch he had in August or July, whatever it was. But at some point, you got to blame the ownership who constructed the roster. Like, just avoiding the blame with Ross Atkins is crazy. It's crazy. He is the top. He is the top man. He constructs it. There's no farm system with this team. There's no pitching prospects coming up to save this Toronto Blue Jays club. I'm blaming Ross Atkins. Not 100%, probably 75% Ross, 25% the top guys in the team that are getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. But to just say Ross Atkins shouldn't get the blame, he 100% should get the blame, man. Look at the offseason moves he made. He had no plan B for Juan Soto or for Shohei Ohtani. Of course he should get the blame.
Yeah, he should get a brunt of the blame for sure. But you just look at weighted runs created plus of the guys on the team.
Yeah.
There was 20 people who hit for the Blue Jays, more than 50 plate appearances. Okay. 2 of the 7 players who were over league average had less than 87 at-bats. Will Wagner, Nathan Lucas.
Yeah.
Vlad, Horwitz, IKF, Turner, and Leo Jimenez are the only ones over. And 2 of those were guys he brought in. So is that 2 above league average hitters were his free agent moves? If you think of that, is that really that bad of a move?
Okay, I'll push back on that. 2 above average. That wasn't the problem last year with the Jays. The problem was the lack of home runs, the lack of the long ball. He did not address that problem. Jock Peterson would have been an awesome addition.
Yeah, but you can score runs without hitting home runs. Home runs is the easiest way to do it, the quickest way to do it as well. But you can score runs without hitting home runs. And it wasn't a successful build. That's just what he learned for sure. I don't think it's as awful. The no bullpen thing.
You can't. I'm not going to blame him for that, really.
Yeah, but that's also a player development problem as well. Yeah. Overall total failure, 100%. And I think it's an easy learn from mistakes. And he's going to know, hey, we have to build with more slug in our lineup, because everyone who's come up at this point are guys who can hit for average and do that very well. So I think there's some easier things to do. But if you even look at the guys who signed in free agency, Peterson, great for sure, 100%. But it's like the Soler
sucks.
Not that great.
Rhys Hoskins sucks.
Again, well, he's been hurt for forever, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. This is the thing, and YJ sent me this. Out of all the free agent right-handed bats that signed, Justin Turner leads in weighted runs created plus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, was the plan B after Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani have sucked for pretty much everyone except for Jock's been good, and Jock only hits against right-handed pitchers. So like there was flaws to the class as well.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean,
at the end of the day, man,
like the one that you can argue with is Chapman probably, but from what he said, he didn't want to be back. That's out of Ross's hands pretty much.
Yeah.
If the guy doesn't want to be here as well. I'm trying to look at it from a different point of view. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. People could scream and say Atkins sucks. I'm not going to put my life on the line to say that he had a good year, because he just didn't have a good year. But I'm not one to say that he can't have a good offseason and do it again. He was courting to the Soto one. They were in talks, but he was courting the biggest free agent of all time, and he got down to the final 2. Okay. What's the one he's going to hit next time? He can very well do it and change the outlook of this baseball team.
Yeah, but again, going back to the Basset quote, he said, blame the players, blame the players, blame the players. Sure, you can blame the players. I'm blaming the players. Bichette being a 79 weighted runs created plus hitter, a big problem. I'll say it. Big problem.
He did not even get to 79. I think he was 71. Okay,
71. George Springer, outside of that legacy month he had after the Junta line, terrible. Leadoff guy, not been great. Has been horrible. It's just like, again, we can blame the players, but Ross Atkins constructed a team with no pop, essentially. A team with no pop, no slug. Have the bats that come up been awesome? Yes, dude. Yes, they've been the reason this team has been fun. But when I'm looking here, if someone goes down next year, who the hell do the Toronto Blue Jays throw in that rotation? Who? Everyone in Buffalo besides Jake Bloss is non-intriguing, non-existent. Who is going to come up and save this team after an injury in the bullpen? We saw it this year. Romano goes down. Chad Green has not been great. Like, giving Chad Green that amount of money, by the way, is bananas. Not trading him, by the way, bananas. Like,
I still don't think it's bananas. You're gonna have to pay a guy that's just like him, anyways, and he's here already. I don't think it's that insane of a move.
We disagree there. Maybe I'm being Johnny negative today, but I don't know, man. It's like,
no, it's okay.
I'm looking at this development of this. I'm looking at the development of the pitching of this team has, and it's nothing. Like, all the good pitchers on this team, aren't Blue Jays pitchers. Like, they're not come up through the system. They're guys they signed. Again, props to Ross Atkins for that. The Barrio signing, awesome. Gossman signing, awesome. Bassett, awesome. All these guys have been awesome, but they're not developed. Like, they're not homegrown talent.
It's hard to win a lot when you're like the best way to do it is to be cheap and win through player development, right? It is the best way to do it because you can stay cheap. You can pay the guys you want to pay on the free agent market, and you don't have to worry. You have controllable years for the young guys. Yeah. Like, they're just worth per win basis. It's way better to have young guys for the dollar. So now they're in a spot where they have a lot of controllable guys coming up, but now you just need them to be good.
Yeah,
that's the player development part of it. You need good off seasons. You need guys to break out next year. You need some Rafaela great months, that type of Willier breakouts from guys you don't really see it coming from. Like, you need Joey Loperfido to be a top 5 guy on your team next year. Those are the type of jumps you need for this thing to get on the tracks and start rolling next season as well. And to put them in a really good spot for the future. If these guys all bust, then again, it's a look back, what the fuck were we doing type of moment.
Yeah, it's this year maybe have broken my brain, man. I had high aspirations. Like, I really did. Maybe I'm just again, I'm not going to go into a season downplaying how good a team is just to say at the end of the year that I'm right. You know, like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be hopeful going into every year. We're fans. That's why Gate 14 is different than other podcasts. Like, we're fans first. There's false hope with us, which again, we're not miserable people. Like, there's false hope with us, but it's just been a tough year. It really has been. Hopefully we're looking back on this year next year at this time and going, wow, like, we don't realize how good we're about to have it next year. Maybe we are. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm really not sure, but there's a lot of positives to look at. The young guys have been awesome. Wagner's been great. Clement's been a surprising, obviously great bat and defensive piece for the Toronto Blue Jays. So there's some positives to look at for sure, right, Abe? I mean,
what if Nathan Lucas is just legit?
He's been great.
He has.
He's been great.
He really has. So I think it's the pitching that needs to develop. We got to find some scrubs delivering.
Dylan Tate's one of those guys that could be. He looks awesome
not a scrub, totally different career path than a scrub that I'm kind of talking about. But yeah, Dylan Tate, if we get some velo back for Dylan Tate, things change as well.
Yeah.
Those are the guys you need to hit on. Who was it? Nick Robertson they picked up from the Cards, a guy who throws hard as well.
Yeah, throws 100.
They are throwing everything at the wall, and that's exactly what they need to do.
That's how you build a bullpen, dude.
Yes, that is exactly. Bullpen years are so wonky.
This was the best bullpen in baseball last year. Let me say that.
Yes.
The literal best bullpen in baseball last year. This is how impossible it is to forecast bullpens. It's impossible.
One of the best relievers is just on the Yankees now. He got cut to Mesa.
Yeah.
The whole year has been catastrophic, and it is a very volatile position being a relief pitcher. Your numbers change immediately after one bad outing. And I think it's buildable again. It's got to find something that sticks.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the things. And then we got to talk about Schneidzy, lad. We got to talk about Schneidzy, man. I mean, listen, we're obviously, everyone knows, I mentioned every podcast, we're close with him. We see how much it affects him. I mean, he's very quiet. Reserved. We just know he's putting his nose to the grindstone and just grinding his dick off to get back to that old self. And my God, man, it's like seeing him have spurts this last week of being his old self, hitting the ball the other way for home runs, hitting home runs again, putting balls in the gap, taking good swings. His timing's there. It's been a joy to watch. It's been a bright spot the past week that we've had here with him being like looking like his old self. And we know he goes to the field before everyone. He's there grinding 4 hours, 3 hours in the cage, trying to get his swing right, watching film, grinding. And it's good to see that he's kind of getting this, like, going into the offseason, something to build off of. And it's awesome to see Davis Schneider look like his old self again. It really is.
Yeah, we get into just how much he was swinging that kind of shit. Like his averages based on this whole season of how much he was swinging and how good his weighted runs created plus or weighted on base average was is insane. The graph is just the opposite of each other.
Yeah.
Right now it's going really well. But when he wasn't swinging a lot and he was being really selective, things were going well. And then as soon as he started swinging, he was swinging percentage he got up to like some 50% of the time on some of these games. And that's when the weighted on base average went way down. So things are starting to shift for him as well. Some changes. I don't know if it was a mechanical thing as well. I know Guillermo said he was talking to him. I think a lot of it was pull heavy stuff. And he wanted to think maybe going the other way. It's not happening. He is not going the other way.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like when you face a slow pitcher. I help coach third, and it's a guy who comes in throwing super slow. It's like, hey, think the big part of the field. Your swing is naturally you're still gonna pull it if you're ahead of it by that much. But hey, think big part, and you're still gonna be able to pull it and get around on it. Maybe that's his thing as well. But it's been nice for him as well because people were writing him off. He went through a very, very tough stretch where it was, hey, I wanted him to be in Buffalo. I thought that would be able to help him because he just wasn't playing that much as well. So really good to see for Davis. Big offseason again. He'll be one of the guys that you need kind of in spring training and say, hey, are we doing this or are we not doing this? And I think another one's Lo Profito as well. Going to be different because Dalton Varsho, that injury, some of that news was a little concerning.
Yeah.
A labrum cleanup and then Bo Bichette as well. It's who knows what spot we're going to be in when we get to spring training.
I have no idea. I really don't. And then another guy that deserves his flowers is La Machina, man. La Machina. Let's pull up some of his stats here. His last 7 games, 47 innings pitched, 1.5 ERA, 0.84 whip. La Machina is on a run that is like, what a pickup. I know, obviously, he's never going to be flashy. He gives up tons of hard hit balls, home runs, but man, he is really locked in. And so is all the starters, to be honest with you. Like the past month have been unbelievable. I saw a stat like starter ERA was like sub 2, and the Jays were like 3-9 in those starts. It was insane. But seeing La Machina just do what he does, man, it really gives me hope next year for this rotation. It really does. And seeing Gausman today as well, obviously. It's just it's been awesome to see the starting pitchers get to work, and then obviously the bullpen just historical collapse every single game.
Are we gonna run the record for most no-hit watches in a season?
Oh my god!
It's been the last month feels like it happens every week. We get a serious no-hit watch. But you're right, Barrios being the youngest guy in the rotation. Is he younger than Bowden?
No, come on, no chance. Bowden's like 26.
No, Bowden's 28.
Oh, he's 28.
You need Barrios to keep doing this thing as well.
Well, he's had one bad year.
Barrios is 30, 2 years older.
Yeah, Barrios has had one outlier every year.
Yeah, in 2 years we're looking at this 32, and he's like the Basset Gausman age, and he's looking older. This is next 2 years are going to be big for him as well. What you need him at, so he can opt out after 2026 on his deal, so that'll be interesting as well. But I mean, he's second in the AL in wins. I think you're just behind Skubal, or he might be tied with him. I believe
he's behind Skubal.
Yeah, Skubal's at the Triple Crown right now.
Shout out to La Machina, man. And then another shout out, Bowden Francis. Obviously, we've been seeing, I'm saying obviously a lot again. Fuck. We've seen tons of the tweets. Oh, this is the highest BABIP for a pitcher. No shit. No shit. The dude has has went, what, 6 straight games with a .3 whip. No shit, his BABIP will be high, and no shit, he will have regression.
He has a low BABIP.
Wait. Bowden won't be just for the rest of his career just give up 1 hit every start. I'm shocked. Like, there's gonna be regression. But what we've seen from him, I think he's just somewhere in the middle. So he's somewhere in the middle from what we saw last year, or start of this season, and what we've seen in this legacy month and a half he's had here. He's somewhere in the middle. And I think where he's at is what we had in that start he had yesterday. A little 6 innings, 2-3 runs. Like,
if he's a 3.9 to 4.2 ERA guy,
yeah,
I think you're happy with what you can get as long as he can eat innings as well.
Yeah.
Something that if you had to depth chart your starters, you'd pencil them in for 5 for next year. And if you get that and you get 140 innings from him, I think you're really happy. I wouldn't bet on him being this good for all of next season, and I don't think anyone would. So I think he's learned some big building blocks confidence wise to get him ready for next season. And will he give up home runs? Yes, he'll give up home runs. Will he give up more hits than this stretch? Obviously. But it's a big development step for Bowden Francis.
Awesome, man.
And then you have a whole nother offseason of learning the splitter.
And you have a whole nother offseason of him going into a season with the idea like, okay, I'm going to be a starter. There's no question marks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That changes things.
Yep. I'd agree with that. I think he's in a good spot for next season, and you can pencil him in to be in their rotation.
Yeah. And next thing to discuss, Bichette was back. 400 hitter, middle finger, 400 hitter in the second half of the year. Don't look at how many at-bats he got, but verbal meme, Aaron Rodgers running out of the tunnel with the American flag. Bichette's back in 2025. 2024, just terrible luck, man. I seeing his quotes, talking about like how he battled and like started to realize how lucky he is to be on a big league field and never taking it for granted, essentially stuff like that. And then he just gets hurt taking ground balls during fucking warm-up. Just terrible luck for Bichette. This year's a write-off. There's nothing real else to say besides this year. We will never talk about this year for Bichette. It's just that this isn't who Bichette is.
No, it is the most obvious bounce back for last season. Or sorry, for this season.
For next season.
Yeah, exactly. Weighted runs created plus. 2019, 143, 46 games. 2020, 120. And then he goes 130, 125, 71 in 81 games. I mean, I'd put it at least 115 for next season. There was some quotes that came out about him, a leg lift eliminating, listening to his dad again.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting in off season, full of that. And just see what kind of shape he's in for next season. I have no problems. It seems to be the worst spot to trade Bichette as of right now.
This is like selling Bitcoin right after it's right when it's at the lowest point, to be honest. Like, this would be dumb. He's going to be on the team next year. Leo Jimenez has been an awesome addition, but Bichette is the shortstop of 2025, sorry. That's just what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's just what it's going to be at the end of the day. It's been what a weird year, man. Honestly, what just a strange year that we'll look back on. Like,
what was one of your favorite moments from this year?
It's so early on, but that Davis Schneider bomb off Josh Hader.
I was
sick.
I was about to say the same thing.
Or the Davis Schneider walk off on the Pirates in like the 14th inning off.
I don't think that was close to as cool.
But the Josh Hader one was sick because we had the false hope still. It's like, oh.
Yeah, that was real early, man.
Yeah.
What was that, second series? No?
Yes. I think it was a second series. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they went Tampa to Houston.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a Yankees one. No, there was Yankees. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but it was close. The David Schneider, Josh Hader thing was my favorite part of the season.
I think the Will Wagner debut's up there probably as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were out of that at that point.
Yeah.
But that was fun to watch.
Yeah, because it was like, they added this guy in as a throw-in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's awesome. Shout out Wag, shout out Schneids. But yeah, it's been a year that I just never want to talk about probably for the rest of my life. You know?
And you'll have to though. You'll have to
Yeah.
talk about it every week of the offseason, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, is there any other like bats that stood out to you this year that give you like false hope or hope for next year?
No, just the Horwitz against righties. I'm
Yeah.
just all in for him being really good against right-handed pitching and
Yeah.
penciling that in for next year again.
Yeah. Let me pull up these listeners. Should we do okay, we'll do series preview first. So Jays are going to Tampa. That's all I can really say about
I
that.
didn't even know they were going.
Yeah, I mean neither. I just found it out like an hour ago and I looked for the series preview. Barrios on Friday, Y-Rod versus Taj Bradley Saturday, and Bassett versus Shane Baz on Sunday. Jays lose 2 or 3. I mean, these are two teams that are out of it. Right?
Yeah, why do they even play the games?
This is I'm not gonna probably watch these games, to be honest. Like I'll pay attention. Like these games suck.
Yeah,
these games suck.
They do, dude.
They're so bad. I mean, we're at that part. I mean, we got a week and a half left, so might as well just enjoy it while we can. But yeah, Jays lose 2 or 3. I don't know what you say.
They get swept.
Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go to listener questions here, folks. Listener questions for the people. First one: a week camping in the woods or a weekend getaway with Mike Wilner and Ken Rosenthal? Week camping in the woods. I'm not a nature guy.
I like camping.
Yeah, I hate camping. This one's for Avery. Avery's true feelings and opinions on Sudbury and LU.
I love Sudbury, man.
Yeah.
I like the small town feel. So anytime you're in a place like that, I'm not as outdoorsy as the people there, so I didn't get the full beauty of it, but I like the small town feel. So I love the north.
Okay. Favorite Blue Jay from 2015 to 2016 teams. You got to go Josh Donaldson. Yeah, that guy was ridiculous.
When he was winning MVP, I would say my favorite player was Josh Donaldson on that team.
That was ridiculous. $500,000 or a Talk to a collab. Talk to a collab. Off-season guest you guys think you will have on? I think we can get Vladdy, man.
I want Matt Haig on.
We can get Haig on.
Yeah, that's my LinkedIn connection.
Yeah, we can get Haig on. That's not a problem. I think we get Vladdy on. I will let the listeners know when we need the people to flood Vladdy's Instagram's comments, because I commented, need you on the podcast more than I need vision. 150 likes under his picture. People just throwing the double tap on it for the boys. What's the Blue Jays record with the 2021 offense and 2023 pitching staff? 162?
62 and 0, yeah.
Yeah, like wagon. Abe, what's something you notice in pitchers you coach younger arms that shouldn't do?
Oh man. That's a good question. It's more a body language thing for younger guys. You can just tell when guys are kind of defeated when they get out there, not confident in what they have. So I think more building up the mental aspect of it instead of just pure talent can help take you guys to the next level.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you this coaching staff comes back next year? I'll probably say 10. Right? Yeah.
Do we think Mattingly gets a contract renewal?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No.
I think Haig just has done his part.
Yeah, Haig's done his part.
I'll go 8.9.
Okay. Is Johnny participating in Movember? I will donate, but I won't participate because I look ugly as shit with a mustache. How do you guys have relationships with so many players? Honestly, through my old podcast, I just know tons of guys, and then just forming connections through that. And guys see our stuff on social media. Obviously, thank you to everyone that interacts with us and has made us as big as we are. We like this would not be possible without you guys. So it's a pretty big part of that. Is seeing like they know we're fans first. The Jays media in the front office, they all love us. They know what, like, we're fan first podcast that has good intentions for the team. So, and we bring more eyeballs to the team. So that's probably the biggest thing, is just kind of just connections and how I know all these guys and I'm mutual friends with, and they kind of put in good words for me. So that's
the mutual friends is a big one too. It's like as soon as you meet somebody's like, oh, you know that guy.
Yeah.
It's the way baseball and most sports are. Everyone knows kind of the same people.
And that'll be able to get us slow feet on the offseason. Out of the Buffalo boys, which ones make the team next year and which ones get traded? I got to think Rodon's gone.
Ooh, I think he might be a opening day guy.
Really?
Yeah. I think
what about Lucas?
Okay, so if we're talking about trading, Rodon's obviously the way more
Sexy name.
sexy name, and you haven't seen him struggle in the big league, so you don't know. Yeah, fuck me. I think Rodon over Lucas
Okay.
if I had to do it.
I think the same guys stay there. All the guys that are there right now, besides De Los Santos, is gone
I,
probably.
I don't think
Baroa.
I don't think Leo will make the team out of camp.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either.
Well, I just think Bo will be there and they can
Yeah,
use the other guys for
that's fair.
better platoon options, but he'll be up next.
That's fair. What story behind gate 14? It's the gate that I entered when I was a kid. Pretty much is that. This is, I mean, if you were the GM of the Toronto Blue Jays, who would you sign or re-sign in the offseason? I mean, there's no one to re-sign. All the guys are gone.
Fuck, man, Blake Snell.
Oh my God. With a spring training, he'd be insane.
Yeah.
He'd be bananas. His ERA, once he's like locked in now, is like 1.4 or whatever.
I mean,
so good.
You got some good top end pitching guys this year. Burns, Snell as well. So yeah, I mean there's some arm options as well. The Pavetta one is very like you need the backup. Do Pavetta that type of arm.
Yeah. Okay. Take 4. Do I think Davis will be on the team next year? Yes, I'm already into that. Take 4 pitches from 4 Blue Jays pitchers to make the ultimate pitcher's repertoire. What are you picking, Avery? You're the pitcher guy. Who's fastball?
Whose fastball do I want? Romano's up there for fastball that I want. Okay. Do we want to put Zach Pop's sinker in there?
No. Nope. That's a no for me, dog.
No Zach Pop sinker. We'll take 2023 Gosman splitter.
Yep.
Whose slider do we? We'll take the Barrios slurve.
Yes. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, and then change ups. Who I guess we have a split. We don't really need a change up. Slurve kind of takes 2 pitches away. We're a 3-pitch guy. We don't need another
Ernie
one.
Clement knuckleball.
Yeah, there you go.
How do you think the season would have gone if we signed Ohtani? We'd probably have 80 wins right now. Opinion on a Bo extension or a trade package? I think you just extend them or just wait to this season, see what happens, man. I really don't know. Like, I really
the trade package won't be what he's worth at this point, I don't think.
How many Jays games in a season can one attend before it's clinically insane? I mean, I've probably been to 40 this year, 45. Before it's clinically insane, I guess.
You've been to half of the home games?
Well, we went to away games as well. I've probably been to like 20, 30 home games.
Okay.
Yeah, I've probably been to like 20, 30 home games. Easily 30.
Yeah, we had Detroit, Chicago as well.
Yeah.
We had spring training too.
Yeah.
Give you that. I've probably been to 20.
I think 50 is clinically insane.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot.
Yeah. Is our song on the playlist at bar night? Yes. Okay. Wonder if you boys can shout me out. Shout out Booch and Sparkles. Jays starting lineup next season. We'll talk about that in the offseason preview. How long do you think until we win a championship next year? Will you be shocked if you see Brandon Barrera flipping burgers at McDonald's? No, I would not. I'd tell him to put the fries in the bag. Johnny's Mount Rushmore of celebrity crushes. You got to go Rachel McAdams. That's clear cut one. Eva Mendes got to be up there, right?
This is your list, man.
I'm now I'm blanking. Mila Kunis.
Nice.
And I'm just trying to think like rom-coms. I'm a sucker for Jennifer Gardner. Probably Jennifer Gardner as well. I love Jennifer Gardner. That's my 4 right there. That's 4, right? Are we going to get a stream before the season ends? No. No one will care for that or watch that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We suck. What is the funniest, strangest situation you've ever found yourself in? I'll tell the story. I'm not going to name drop the people. So last week, when I was at the Jays game, I was outside gate 14. I met with these guys. They were asking me for a picture. I got a picture with them, and they were literally grabbing me to go to Paris, Texas with them. Like literally physically grabbing me to go to Paris, Texas with them. Didn't know how to react to it. Told them I didn't want to go. One of the guys offered me $500 or $400 to go to the bar with them. I said no to that as well. So that was probably the strangest conversation. Great dudes. They were a little bit banged up, so I'll let it slide. But when people get touchy, it's like, all right, like let's relax here a little bit. But that was probably the strangest situation I've ever got myself in, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think I've been into a strange one yet. So none from me.
Fave position, missionary. Uh,
Well,
how did Avery end up coaching Guelph? Weren't you with Laurier last year?
yeah, so I couldn't do the off season with Laurier, so I quit pretty much because girlfriend I was like, I'll be in Toronto all the time. And we were super busy in the off season doing a ton of stuff. And I thought the Blue Jays would be good in the fall. So I was like, okay, like I can't do stuff in the fall because we'll have a ton of stuff to do. Stream every night going to the playoffs. Playoffs, we won't miss anything. And then halfway through the season, kind of realize, oh, they're not good. They're not going to make the playoffs. So I have my falls back. And then the Laurier coach had quit as well, so I wasn't going to go back. And then he went to Guelph, so then I went with him as well.
Yeah,
that's how it is. I like giving my time back to the people. I like the OUA. I think it's a good league for people that come back to Canada or people who stay in Canada to play ball as well.
Where is it? Favorite memory I have from playing baseball? Cooperstown, probably when I was a kid. That rocked. That was cool.
Cooperstown was cool. We won a lot when I was at OBJ. There's a lot of cool tournaments and stuff.
Yeah.
Just winning and being on the bus with the boys is a good time.
Will Hazel May make the level of excellence? I think that's obvious. I think she should. She's the GOAT. Legend.
How long has she been around for?
Dude, honestly, has to be since we were kids. Has to be.
Yeah, I'll look
She's
that
passing it on to Emily Agard. Passing of the torch. We're watching the passing of the goats.
Hazel May's Sportsnet career. Is this going to show up as easily as it should?
No way. What year? 2012?
It doesn't show up as easily as I wanted to.
Yeah, I think she goes up there. What are you most excited about team-wise during the postseason to convince ourselves they're going to be good in 2025?
Yep, exactly.
Talk about this last podcast. Gun to your head. Can you recite the Hazel May commercial word by word? No, I don't watch the games with the sound on.
I take, what's the thing? I'm on my feet covering the game that I love and I get tired or something like that. That's all I remember from the commercial.
Okay. Where are the best seats for Rogers Center? We talked about this. 200 level, preferably section 231. Who will be the next arm that Pistol Pete fixes in 2025?
Dylan Tate.
Dylan Tate. Bring him back. First rounder. Any big plans for the offseason? Yes, I obviously plan to do that Ontario Blue Jays thing. We'll have more time to be able to do that for me to step into the box against those guys. And I want to do like an offseason thing with like Basset or Swanee. Just like go fishing or some shit with those guys. Maybe do some man shit. But I'd love to do that. A lot of questions. I guess this is okay. You can answer this one. Who's your top target this year?
Juan Soto.
Okay, besides Juan Soto.
Fuck, there's a lot of flaws in this class too. Tyler O'Neill can't hit right-handed pitching. Is the best hitter in the world against left-handed pitching. Yeah, I don't even know who I'd want to target. Santander, I think the contract you're paying at the height of Santander.
Yeah, I think it's gonna contract's gonna suck. Same
is
with
gonna
Bregman.
Bregman. I don't even know if we can be cheaper than Bregman as well to find ways to get some production. I don't even think I have a top target at this point.
Yeah, that'll be an offseason thing. Which team is Gate 14 cheering for? I'm a Mets Padres guy through and through. Rooting for both. They're facing each other first round. Probably not ideal, but Mets Padres guy.
I guess I'd want the Guards to win the World Series.
Okay. What happened to Gate 14 slow pitch? We planned it too late. Next year we're gonna have to plan it way earlier. Maybe we'll get someone to spearhead that for us.
Yeah.
Bring back the Francis merch. No. I gotta find this out here. There's tons here. It's kind of the same questions though. What's a vibe guy you want on the Jays for 2025? Can be bad at baseball. We know the answer here.
Bradley Zimmer.
Barger or Jimenez? I want to probably say Barger. Right?
Yep.
Top 5 Canadian cities to have an MLB team. Montreal's got to be one. BC.
No, Vancouver.
Yeah. Vancouver, BC. Vancouver and Montreal for me. I don't really care about the other ones. I think those two deserve a team the most because they'd pack that barn.
Yep.
For Avery, your best pitcher on the Guelph Griffins.
They're all good.
Okay. You don't have a favorite. How many booms on the boom meter was this series? This series was a doom.
They won 2 of 3.
No, they didn't.
Do they not?
They lost 2 of 3.
Okay, they didn't get swept. There's the Monday game I got fucked up.
Do you guys think the Jays can sneak the Tigers sneak in the playoffs? Yeah, I think so. Favorite darts, Marlboro Reds, obviously.
Marlboro Reds are the best. Yes, series was a doom. I remember all the scoring runs on Tuesday, and I thought that was a good thing.
Yeah,
they did not win that baseball game.
Sorry guys, there's like 150 questions here. I'm trying to get to all. Like, there's so many. I really can't answer all these. I appreciate you guys like sending in the questions. It means a lot. Last one. What happened to JR? I mean, if you're an OG listener to this podcast, you know. I mean, he just got busy and probably didn't even really watch the Toronto Blue Jays, so we kind of had to snip. It was a mutual agreement. He knew he wasn't really locked in. He's a guy that likes to give 100% effort in everything he does, and he knew that he wasn't able to do it. So kind of a mutual thing. Kind of really just stopped answering our texts, to be honest with you, was a big reason.
Well, when we would send the Zoom link and the, hey, are you guys ready for this time? We no longer got the response from Jer. That's how and he moved to LA, but he's moving back next month.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll be a reunion for us, but it'll be nice to have a friend back in town.
I love this one. Am I dreaming to think we sign Soto this offseason and then Scooble the next offseason? Put the bottle down, brother. Put the bottle down, my friend. What are your thoughts on team celebrations when they clinch? Yeah, what are your thoughts on the team celebrations when they clinch a playoff spot? I'm all for it. I mean,
the season's so long.
Yeah, like, of course, dude.
You should celebrate winning the wild card series. You should celebrate winning a division series, championship series, everything.
This is a good one. I'll end it on this one. What are you hoping for Springer as a role in 2025? I think you got to move him down to the bottom of the order.
Yeah. Well, you're hoping he's a 115 way runs created plus leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to get that? Absolutely not.
Fuck no.
Absolutely not.
So I think you kind of just find a new guy to lead off for your club, man. I think that's where we're at. Yeah. I think you got to find a new guy to lead off for your club. So get ready, just Springer, get ready to tap into that 9-hole spot, 8-hole spot, maybe. Maybe you're the next Kevin Kiermaier, but
he's the second leadoff hitter.
Second leadoff, yeah, nine guy, and we'll still count it towards his home run total for home runs, leadoff hitters. But anyways, like we talked about, man, 2 more podcasts left after this, or 3. Sorry, 3. Bar night next Friday. Buy your tickets again. Like I said, 20 left. We love you guys, man. Excited to kind of just tap into the offseason pods where we could just talk about life, and just kind of snap it around and just have false hope for 2025. But I can't believe we're here. September 19th, man. It seems like yesterday we were doing live streams. That actually meant something. So love you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Gate 14 forever, man. The support's been crazy this year. And let's have ourselves the last week of the season. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy Kygo tomorrow if you're going. I'll be there. And love you guys, man.
Yeah.